Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Yep, I've been away for a little bit. Sorry, just been really digging into some stuff happening geopolitically. I did make videos, but the problem was some of them were so long because I just kept rambling on trying to make a point. So I was like, no, I can't post these things, man. They're too long. I can hardly get people to pay attention for 5 minutes. So anyways, I had a long talk with a friend of mine who used to actually have businesses in Iraq about 15 years ago. And so as we were chatting, he's seriously thinking about going back. And I was talking about the benefits, the pros, the cons, things that he has to take in consideration when he opens up a business over there. And he made some good points. So he's half white and the other part of him is Iraqi. So he does speak the language. He does have that benefit. And he actually looks like somebody from Iraq. He's got a really smart business mind. And what he's been doing is looking at all the changes that are taking place in Iraq, kind of weighing out his options. There is always concern that the Iraqi government can just backtrack and screw people over. They've done it before in the past. He's not thrilled about the fact that the coordinated framework is in power just because of Maliki's involvement. So what he's doing is trying to figure out how do you go about doing business over there and avoiding it because they're very, very corrupt. I mentioned to him that I thought Al-Sudini seems to be doing a very good job because they always look that way until the true colors show. And I said, wow, man, that's the same thing I said. But where there might be concern for him is with the whole world turning towards de-dollarization, how that's going to affect his business over there if he opens up again versus here. And I told him that I bought the Iraqi Dinar and I thought it was a good investment, and we kind of went through that. And he did express his opinion about it. And so we just went back and forth about that. One thing that I told him I was interested in, it doesn't seem like nobody's actually attending to this at the moment. Iraq has a lot of gold. Nobody seems to be there mining it. And he said, his friend had thought about going in there to mine the gold too. It's the restrictions, it's the amount of briberies and the percentage that these corrupt government officials want. It doesn't make it affordable. And I said, well, that sucks because we know that the gold is not deep at all. It's very shallow. I'm interested in it, but not the way they are. I would take a dredge out there and just go for the gold myself. But the odds of me getting killed by somebody over there is pretty intense. But the fact that my friend is even considering going back after 15 years he's been away. And he's seriously thinking about it. He said with the cheap dinar, it's affordable for him. He could open up a production company over there and then have his items shipped back to the United States and then resell them for a huge markup. And that's what a lot of people do. So he's not too thrilled if the Iraqi dinar starts to go up really quick, right off the get-go. So he's one of these people that are smart businessman. He would love for the Iraqi dinar to at least stay where it is at its current value for a couple, 3 years. If it goes up in small increments, you don't have a problem with it. But what you don't want to see is any kind of revaluation or a huge jump in value of the Iraqi dinar, just for the reasons I told you. So as a businessman, I get it, I understand. But as an investor, no, that sucks. We don't want to hear that. So let's get into the latest and the greatest, shall we?
Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold, silver, or any other precious metals, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description, or just type in www.moneymetals.com/Pimpy. If you make a purchase when you follow that link, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win 10 free silver ounces. So get started today, and hopefully your stack will start to look like this real soon. So head on over, tell them Pimpy sent you. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube. And the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to hit on over to Money Middles, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you.
For those of you who are unaware, Elon Musk has started to pay content creators for creating content that goes on Twitter. So I'm going through the instructions on what it is I need to do to make that happen over there on Twitter and how it works. Once I figure it out, I'm going to try it for a little bit, see what happens. If they are paying more than YouTube, then most likely I'll continue to do YouTube, but I'm going to post the content mostly to Twitter. I don't need the censoring. I don't need to walk on eggshells about things I'm speaking about. It drives me insane that I can't make the videos that I want to make just because I got to worry about whether or not these people are going to censor me, remove me, cancel me, do whatever it is that they do. So Elon Musk has paid out a lot of money to content creators already. So I'm enjoying that, but I am going to monitor what's going on. So congrats to KRG, surpasses $2 billion in the first quarter of 2023 in oil revenues. That's despite the fact that they're not even doing business with Turkey yet. It said the Kurdistan regional government announced on Thursday it had generated over $2 billion in financial revenues for crude oil sales during the first quarter of 2023. Let me show you the part that I am concerned about. Down here it says the total oil revenues in Kurdistan region reached, this is on here, 2,199,684. That's not right. Notice there's a comma right there. So my guess is it's 2 billion. 2,199,000,000 with an average oil price per barrel of $67.63. That's not good. That's not where we want to be. This is below what is in the budget for Iraq. It needs to be higher. Consequently, domestic revenues amounted to $22,098,000,000 with an average per barrel of $58.63. So this is good that they generated that kind of revenue, but this is really below what it is Iraq needs overall to average per barrel. Just keep that in mind because I told you I was concerned about the price that they had set in their budget per barrel. So here you have the president of Turkey, Erdogan, snitching on what's going on between Kurdistan and Iraq. So Erdogan's first comment after Baghdad-Tehran deal. Our pipes are ready and our mediation has begun. So right here it says Erdogan revealed a mediation led by his country to resolve oil differences between Baghdad and Erbil, stressing that the internal problems in Iraq are still ongoing, contrary to Iraqi government statements that the talks about a big and historical agreement in energy files between the regions and the center and refer to the cessation of maintenance problems in the Turkey pipelines. So as much as the Iraqi government is claiming that things are peaches and cream between them and Kurdistan, apparently it is not. And the president of Turkey is literally snitching on him. Erdogan said that his country is ready to resume pumping Iraqi oil through the Turkish pipeline and that the problem of stopping is internal Iraqi between Baghdad and Erbil. Hours after the Iraq announcement, a barter agreement with Iran between Iraqi crude oil and Iranian gas. So things aren't all peaches and cream. This is a really good sign. So you don't understand how happy I was after talking to my friend, and then all of a sudden I see this article. So there are people who are considering getting back into Iraq to invest. Billionaire plans to launch a giant project in Baghdad. It says billionaire and gives the guy's name. No, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Confirmed his intention to launch a huge real estate project in Iraq, representing the return of the Egyptian businessman to the Iraqi market, in which he had previously invested in the telecommunications sector 20 years ago. My friend was there 15 years ago. This guy was there 20 years ago, and you got a lot of people thinking about going back. This is exactly what we want. So congratulations to Iraq. The more outside investors you got coming in, the better it is for your country. U.S. backs Iraqi energy deal with Total. Promises it giant move. For those you don't know, Total is the name of the energy company in France. So the White House on Wednesday welcomed the completion of Iraqi unprecedented integrated gas growth project with France, Total Energy, while the U.S. State Department considered the deal a giant step towards energy independence and strengthening its safety in the country. So here's the thing people got to remember. When it comes to energy or electricity or anything like that, you have a country right next to Iraq who likes the fact that Iraq depends on them for these things. So all of a sudden, when you have electricity generators blowing up, pipelines being sabotaged, you know why. So it's not just the fact that these people could build this infrastructure that Iraq needs, it's can they protect it? Can they shield it from people who are purposely trying to sabotage it? That's my concern. So this is a good deal for Iraq. This should bring in a lot of revenue, which is much needed over there in Iraq. So Al-Shamir reveals the package of government measures to attract foreign investors. The more foreign investors, the better. But you're not going to have foreign investors coming into this country unless you can prove that it's stable and that their assets are protected. Al-Shamir explained in a statement received by the news that the government recognizes that expatriate investment plays a crucial role in promoting economic development, creating jobs, improving the quality of life of citizens, diversifying the base of the Iraqi economy, and developing non-oil sectors. That's huge. On this basis, the goal of the government from Al-Sudani is to simplify bureaucratic procedures and enhance transparency in granting investment license by making amendments to government's decisions related to investments. As you continue down the article, they lay out the steps that are needed. Course number one, approval of plans related to investment projects with the competent federal authorities for all projects within 30 days. In other words, if you have a plan of attack laid out, if you have a business plan on what it is you're going to do, lay it out there, they'll get it taken care of within 30 days. Second, the governments are committed to providing the national investment authorities with the number of land plots that provinces and areas, sex, abuse, and uses inside and outside the boundaries of the municipality. So they're going to dedicate land for outside investors. It does no good if you don't have electricity there. That's a biggie. Third is the granting loans and financial facilities to the central bank, government banks, and other financial institutions to Iraq, and financial institutions in partnership with Iraqis if they complete 25% of the project. So obviously there's an incentive there to do what you say you're going to do. Fourth, the national investment authorities complete all required approvals, including the allocation of land, before the announcement of investment opportunities. Okay, so what all these are, not that I need to read them all, is they're going to go ahead and allow outside investors to come in, but streamline everything. Where before there was a lot of red tape, now they're going to streamline it, make it easier for outside investors to come in and open up businesses and get going. Now this right here is a biggie, because this article talks about really just crapping in the face of the United States, and you'll see why. The announcement of the details of the Iraq-Iran agreement in the swap of the forced crude oil in black. So the Prime Minister's office announced that an agreement was signed on Tuesday between Iraq and Iran, under which imported and operated Iranian gas for electric-powered production plants will be traded for Iraq crude oil and black oil. If you remember the last video, Iraq was complaining that the United States is taking way too long on freeing up the fees necessary to Iran. They hold their money hostage. Like I said before, they got to get permission from the United States in order to do certain deals. Since Iran is on sanctions, they're always hesitant when it comes to that, while these two have found a loophole. He said in a statement received by the news, the agreement was signed by the Iraqi side, the director of the Prime Minister's office, and it was signed by the Iranian side, the ambassador of Islamic Republic of Iran in Baghdad. The agreement was reached after several days of negotiation, in which delegations and technical committees for both sides participated. The Prime Minister's office explained this agreement comes within the framework of the government efforts to address the crisis of supplying gas operating to power plants and avoiding financial problems and the complexity of U.S. sanctions that prevented the continued payment of imported requirements, and the agreement will contribute to providing more flexibility for the gas supplies process operating stations, and stabilizing electric power production. In other words, they're going to go ahead and circumvent the sanctions. I'm curious to see what this administration does as a form of punishment. Anyways, that's it for now. I look forward to your comments, and I'll get back at you later. I'm out.